Been filed against the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. The owner of a building in North Omaha says grant money he needs for renovations was unfairly denied.
Mike McKnight takes us inside the controversy as 6 on Your Side investigates.
Sitting at the southern gateway to the North 24th Street business corridor, a century-old building could play a part in future economic growth.
And bring in the customers that we need to come in to supply jobs. Number one, good paying job.
But work needs to be done on the building from top floor on down.
Basement here.
And while owner Jonathan Nash says he's invested $65,000, engineers say more is needed.
It's on a good faith effort here to make it like it's according to code and what it should be.
That's why Nash's North O Rising Corporation applied for $700,000 in state economic development money. With that engineer's report, repairs and replacements have already been planned out. But that grant money is needed to make sure the job gets done. But Nash says his North O Rising grant request has been denied by the Nebraska Department of Economic Development.
There was nothing wrong with the project. It's in the right location. It satisfies all the legislative intent and the legislative priorities. I did nothing wrong. Their process was flawed.
A statement from the state agency says DED is confident in the soundness of its award selection process, adding North O Rising earned the second lowest score of 19 eligible applicants in the infrastructure category. Nash claims his building has never been ranked for any grant money.
They made a mistake. It's blatant. They did not independently score the project, and now they don't have an appeal process.
So Nash has filed suit against the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, making several arguments, including that a state consultant supported the building renovation.
Our ultimate goal is to get the $700,000. You know, Olson approved it. Just cut a check and let us go do some good in the community.
The building owner insists the grant money isn't needed for a renovate to speculate project. There's already a verbal agreement from a potential tenant. And construction advisor Larry Williams says he can see future demand for space.
Listen, man, you'll love this view. This is a really relaxing view.
But Williams and the building owner say the state grant money is essential for that dream view to come true. On Your Side at 24th and Franklin, Mike McKnight, 6 News.
The Nebraska Department of Economic Development can't comment on the lawsuit. They tell us in January, 130 grants were awarded to businesses and nonprofits throughout the North and South Omaha Recovery Grant Program. 28 applications were rejected for insufficient information or not meeting program requirements.